Hey, what's up guys? I'm Scott from MuscularStrength.com, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you the 8 dumbest exercises I see when I go to the gym. Now, if you missed the first video on the 10 dumbest exercises, click the link right here, and there are some pretty, we'll just say amazing exercises in that video. So bookmark that, watch it after this one, because this video has some doozies as well. Without any further ado, let's jump right in it. So for some of these exercises, like, the exercise itself might not be the worst possible thing you can do, but when you're in a gym with about a bazillion other options, it starts to be a little ridiculous. First exercise on the list is a goblet curl with a dumbbell, all right? Basically, the way you do this exercise is you hold a dumbbell with your hands flat like this, and then you start to curl with it, right? Up, down, up, down. Now, the problem with this exercise is, number one, it puts a ton of strain on your wrists. Number two, you only feel anything in your biceps from here to here. Like the rest of the movement, you kind of just feel strain on your wrists and shoulders as you go up and down. Then the dumbbell starts to bounce off your chest a little bit. And number three, if you're in a gym and you have access to, I don't know, 2 dumbbells instead of 1, or a barbell to do curls with, those are going to allow you to work through a much better range of motion, lift heavier weight, and above all else, lift safely. So don't do that. The second exercise is a single arm shoulder press on the seated low row machine. So you're using a back machine to work your shoulders. Now, there may be some instances where this will work, but on this machine, it is very clear that as soon as your arm goes from about here to about 90 degrees, the weight kind of counterbalances itself and goes back. I mean, look at how high this weight goes. If you lose control of this, that weight's gonna come down and kill somebody, number one. Number two, if you lose control, you could possibly hit yourself with the handle. Now, I actually see this a lot, and I wanna know if you guys do too, so make sure you go down to that comment section and let us know. But for me, anytime I see someone doing this exercise, I immediately tell them to stop, and I say, hey, you know what? There's an easier way to do this. Just go sit down and grab some dumbbells. The third exercise is actually one of my absolute favorite exercises to do for my gym. It's a standing oblique crunch, and you can do it holding a plate. You can do it holding a dumbbell. The only way you shouldn't do it is holding 2 plates or 2 dumbbells. Guys, if you're going back and forth like this, holding the same exact weight in each hand, you're basically counterbalancing the weight and not having to work through the range of motion. The whole point of this exercise is to go down real deep, to focus on a stretch and a contraction as you come up, flexing your core as hard as you can. Like, you're taking the core stability out of the equation. So if you're gonna do this exercise, please, if you're gonna use 2 plates, put them both in one hand, or just grab 1 dumbbell. The fourth exercise is the Smith machine leg press. Now, this exercise gained a lot of traction because a lot of people go on Instagram and their newest female IG crush says, I got my booty from doing this bullshit exercise and a bunch of other bullshit exercises that actually put barely any resistance on the glutes whatsoever because they're weird movements like this. Now, aside from being extremely dangerous, you're putting the barbell either towards the top of your foot or in the middle of your foot, which is not a mechanically advantageous position to be in. You want to be pushing through your heels in order to maximize the amount of weight you can lift on this. Pushing through the ball of your foot is doing nothing for you. And aside from being able to rack and unrack the bar by yourself, and then, I guess the bar doesn't go all the way down to the point to where it would crush your face or your stomach, but if you do lose your footing and the bar slams all the way down, you're going to look even dumber than how you look doing the actual exercise, which is, like, really dumb. Number 5 is an exercise that you see dudes do that don't understand that the chest fly is not an exercise where you're supposed to be able to do the entire stack, all right? The chest fly is a movement where you're supposed to be able to really feel the contraction in your chest. And the only way you're gonna be able to do that is if you're flying with weight that you can actually handle. Now, when you start to lift too heavy, this is what starts to happen. You do a chest fly for about half the movement. Then when you get about halfway, it turns into a biceps curl. So if you're currently doing this, all you got to do is lower the weight and your chest gains are going to go through the roof. Number 6 is the hip thrust on a leg curl machine. Now guys, special shout out to Cass. She works the front desk at the gym at LA Fitness that we were at. I was just like, you know what? I'll do a lot of things, you know. I was just a little too embarrassed to do this because I was afraid that the subscribers I have in that gym were going to unsubscribe from me if they caught me doing this. So thank you very much for Cass coming in to show this exercise. And guys, when you do the hip thrust, okay, whether you're doing a hip thrust or a glute bridge, I just made a video about this. The only 2 exercises you need to work your glutes. You have got to have hip hyperextension. The bar has to be on your thighs, okay? So pretty much pressing into your femurs, and you have to be able to load it with weight that you can handle. And the range of motion on a leg curl or a leg extension machine is not going to put you in an advantageous position to where you can actually lift as much weight as possible and get that hip hyperextension. So don't do it. You're better off going on the floor and doing this exercise with your body weight. The 7th exercise is another one of those exercises where it's not necessarily the worst thing you could do, but if you kind of apply a little common sense to the movement, you start to realize how ridiculous it is, and it's doing a seated calf raise with dumbbells on your legs. Now, the reason why I say it's a bit ridiculous is because most people, when they do this, they grab light dumbbells. So maybe like a 35, a 15, maybe even as high as a 50-pound dumbbell, right? You think about how much you weigh. I weigh 178 pounds, which means all day long, my legs are used to carrying around 178 pounds. Now, maybe doing a standing calf raise with both feet at the same time might not feel like it's working the calves as much as I want it to, but sitting down and putting a dumbbell on my knee that's only about 50 pounds is not going to help me. You're much better off just standing and doing it with a single leg. So put the dumbbells away. Just because you're in a gym doesn't mean you have to use them, and do the exercise standing with both feet or just one foot, or standing holding that dumbbell in your hand. And last but not least, number 8, and this one was saved for last for a reason, because it really puts the cherry on top of the cake, guys. We're going to call this a chest fly to leg press.
No! God, please, no! No!
Now, let me just say one thing. You're not like next level functional training here, okay? You're next level about to kill yourself. First of all, you're not in the correct position to be doing a chest fly. The seat position on a leg press is way too high to be doing anything like that. And number 2, there's no way you're going to be able to press enough weight with your legs while trying to also focus on opening and closing your arms at the same time. Like, you're just going to be all over the place mentally. When you're doing a leg press, you need to focus, you need to have full range of motion, and you need to be able to lift as much weight as possible. Not to mention the coordination that goes into this exercise. I mean, it took me a few takes just to get it right, to open my arms as the weight goes down, and then as the weight goes up, to bring them in. Now, it actually didn't feel too bad doing. I didn't feel too embarrassed about it, but I did see quite a few lurkers looking, and they had like those hungry eyes where they were like, oh, that actually looks pretty badass. I'm going to try that. I immediately went over afterwards, and I was like, hey, I'm filming a video on what not to do, and I can tell you're interested in trying this, so please don't let me catch you doing it when I come back to the gym. And they're like, oh, okay, I was wondering what you were doing. It's like, yeah, this is for a video. You'll see it on YouTube this week. They're like, all right, subscribe. Thank you very much. And that's it, guys. Those are my 8 dumbest exercises that I see in the gym. And remember, if you want to see the first video of the 10 dumbest exercises I see, you can click that link above in the cards, or I'll post it in the end screens as well. And as always, more good stuff coming soon. If you guys want to see more fun content like this, let me know by smashing that like button and leaving a comment below. And for those of you who are having a hard time figuring out which exercise will give you the most bang for your buck when you're trying to build muscle, all you gotta do is check out my Only 2 series. I'll post the entire playlist right here. See you guys next time.